Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you are having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look here at KuCoin, see kind of what's going on there. We usually look at Bitcoin first, but I can tell you it's just kind of stuck right around 49,000. It's pretty much consolidated right around that range, plus or minus 1,000 for the last couple of days. And that's not all bad. It's just is what it is, right? The market, everything going on, it's kind of just staying sideways for the moment, which is perfectly fine. We want to see that for honestly a couple more days so we can allow for some of these altcoins to kind of recover and stop being so damaged, right? We'll see what's going on here. So for KuCoin, first things first, we're going to look at the one-day chart, work our way down. Also, too, just a friendly reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade. Been trading for over 15 years, so if you're new to the channel, welcome, of course, but I hope you learn a thing or two here today. I'm all about making sure you understand how to, trade for a lifetime, not just for one day. Okay, so I have a trading community designed for that purpose, so you can kind of accelerate that experience. But learn what you can from my videos. Feel free to comment below if you had learned something. It'd be great to hear that. Moving forward, though, look at the one-day chart. First thing we're going to want to do is redraw the Fibonacci retracement lines, kind of see where we're at there, because obviously it's more so on the downswing than it is the upswing, but I'm willing to bet they're going to be pretty synonymous in a lot of ways. So let's go ahead and just remove this and add a new one and see where we're at. Look at that, perfect. So the previous all-time high, again, before it broke out at 58 cents, is now considered to be a resistance. Okay, obviously it was resistance before, tentative support level, and now it's kind of working as a resistance. So just bear that in mind. That's going to be kind of more of a potential roadblock in the near future, but the volume profile will also be another one we want to consider. We'll look at that here in a moment. Now, taking a look at some of the obvious stuff. The 50-day simple moving average is working its way up. That could work out very, very well to work as a support level. So the likelihood of the price going much lower than 48 cents is pretty low, considering that average has worked its way up to that price action or very close to it. So I'd say that if the price were to continue to decrease, 48 cents should be the lowest point in which it'll go. So if you can dollar cost average closer to 50 cents, I'd say more power to you. All good stuff here, though, honestly. Very good shape here for KuCoin, considering the fact that we've had about 5 red days in a row. We got this doji candle essentially yesterday, for lack of better terms, very close to a doji. That does signify that we might have a reversal, right? Because you can only hold something down for so long. Try holding a flotation device underwater, right? It's going to emerge. It's just a matter of time. So that's kind of the same thing here. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see that the 200-day simple moving average on the 4-hour is working as a potential resistance, but more likely going to be a support. In other words, it's held as a support this entire time. Yes, it dropped below recently here, but I don't think that's anything to worry about. We should expect to see the price come back above and hold above, right? Bear in mind, if that holds below, we can consider a resistance. It's just kind of a little premature to kind of estimate that as a resistance level yet, but I would say within 24 hours, we'll be able to identify if that's holding it up or down, okay? We'll look at this again later. But that being said, that's where we're at there. We got the 200, moving up, the 50 working its way down. That can be referred to as a death cross, so just keep in mind that could push the price action down here in the near future. We will see, obviously, soon what happens with that. I'm not overly concerned there. My main concern is this resistance at about 58 cents. We should expect to see that as a pretty consistent resistance level. So I'm going to speculate that we're going to see CRO transition from between 48 to 58 cents in the next week or so to eventually get above 58 cents. But I don't feel we're going to go much lower than 48, but I think that 58 is going to be a strong resistance in the near future, the immediate future, because everything's kind of contracting to that one point, right? Like, for example, you see the 50-day work its way down. Let's just go with an example here. Comes down, 200 works its way up. We got that the death cross, so to speak, right? That could continue to push the price action down further. Now, will it go much lower than 48 cents? My speculation is no. I don't think we're going to see that. So that's why I'm pretty sure we're going to just see some sideways action from CRO right around 48 to 58 cents in the immediate near future. Within the next week, we should see a breakout to the upside, but it probably won't happen right away. All right, looking at the 1 hour, let's see what's going on with Cloud. Another reason to kind of anticipate the fact that we shouldn't expect a turnaround right away, because we're just right at the end of this shorting position. So if you were shorting right now, you'd want to get out of your position for 2 reasons, because this conversion line is intersecting with the baseline, and the lagging span just hit the price action. As soon as the lagging span hits price action, that's pretty much just like a cut your losses and get out, or more so, take your gains and leave, right? Because if you were in a short position, you'd still be up a small percent if you'd gone in right around here. Okay, so again, this is telling us right now that the shorts should be closed. So that does kind of signal somewhat of a reversal. It's not a full-on like 100% confirmation, but it does help us understand that the bears are losing control, and the bears might be potentially gaining control. Again, we got some resistances working against us, holding the price action down under 58. So that's another reason why I do feel that we're going to see the price just kind of trend between 48 and 58 cents in the immediate future. And we'll see here soon how the price responds to the cloud. It's very common for the price to get rejected off the cloud and stay down. That would also be concurrent with the 4-hour 200-day simple moving average, right? It's kind of working as a resistance tentatively. Again, a couple of things working against us here. Not terrible. I love the fact that 48 cents appears to be a very strong support level, being a previous resistance, but there's a few other things we need to factor in. So that's kind of where we're at there. One last thing, TD sequential. We're at a 3, so we could possibly see another 6 hours continuation to the upside. That doesn't necessarily have to happen every time, but minus this little resistance here at about 55 cents, we could continue to progress upwards. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the price kind of bounce off 55 and continue to go sideways or down closer to 48. I wouldn't say 48 is going to be a likelihood though. I don't feel we're going to see 48 cents again. I think that was a one-time thing. So I would say we're going to see an average price of 55 to 58 cents in the immediate near future. Hopefully you found benefit here and we didn't confuse you any further. If you learned something here today, please feel free to comment below. But not much really to note, right? We should not expect KuCoin to explode in the near future. The likelihood of that happening with any coin right now, I think, is pretty low. Again, just based on the overall sentiment, what's going on, the fear index is extremely high. Coins like this that are profitable for a lot of whales that are holding coins like this are going to be the first ones to go when Bitcoin goes south, which is why we saw a significant correction here recently. Also keep in mind too, and I noted this here with my community, I just want to let you know too, like this, for example, there was a 3-hour correction from Bitcoin, and it was about 3.5%. We saw a 10.5% correction from KuCoin at the exact same moment. So just keep this in mind. KuCoin can increase, right? But the likelihood of it decreasing is much higher based on the simple fact that we're seeing a 3 to 4x knee-jerk reaction from altcoins when Bitcoin has a tendency of selling off. Okay, so again, 3.5% from Bitcoin resulted in 10.5% for Crow. I think it was 13% for LRC and 12% for Mana. It's literally 3 to 4x in the downside when Bitcoin has a correction. So keep that in mind. Bitcoin can trend closer to 50,000, for example. And as soon as it hits 50 and it comes back down to 49 or 48, we're going to see that correction across the board. Again, not every coin is doing that, but most coins are, right? And just keep this in mind. We see these reds everywhere. The more red you see, in fact, we see a little bit more green now because they're averaging out at almost 0. But the more red you see, the more likely this is to happen, right? And I can tell you right now, yes, there's a slight recovery since the market opened, the traditional stock market, in the last 3 to 4 hours, but that's only because the S&P hasn't taken a nosedive yet. And that's on the verge of doing so just based on the inflation and everything else going on, right? Because the Fed is trying to drive the price down to kind of correct that naturally without an actual, bottom drop, if that makes any sense. So just keep that in mind. A lot of things are factoring in here. So just be mindful and try not to just, all in. That's the bottom line. If you take a position right now, do not go 100% of your portfolio in this one coin. Gamblers do that. Good traders do not. You diversify, you use good risk tolerance, you always set 3 profit targets and set a trailing stop loss every single time. You know what you're going to get out of it before you get into it. That's the bottom line, okay? So again, those are just things I like to teach and help you understand. Obviously, if you need a better leg up and somebody to walk alongside you, a community that grows with you, check that out. It's an amazing, awesome opportunity. The link in the description below for that. We are accepting new members. Only a few left available slots for this month, so just bear that in mind as well. But regardless if I see you there or not, I hope you learned something here today, and I thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.